It is a unique way of attracting and retaining employees by offering one-of-a-kind travel experiences. WBZ's Paula Ebben finds out more about incentive travel.
And joining me today is a man who knows all about this, Eric Czerlonka of Czerlonka Event Design and Management. Thank you so much for coming in to talk with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here, yeah.
What a fascinating business you have, and it sounds like so much fun. Talk a little bit about what incentive travel is and why companies are using it now.
Yeah, there are several different industries that are using incentive travel for not only to incentivize their customers, but employees as well. And you can think of incentive travel as really a reward and an acknowledgement for hard work being done and goals being achieved. So there are a lot of different ways to incorporate it into a structure of a company.
Yeah. Why do you think companies are shifting their focus to recruitment? And do you think this is an effective tool in giving someone a whole compensation package?
Yeah, I believe it is. I think, especially a lot of times the incentives are geared towards goals, always geared towards goals, whether they're selling goals, employee retention goals, they could be really tied back to anything. So I think when you're talking about, especially salespeople are driven by goals in general.
Yes.
And not only, with any kind of incentive packages that are financially rewarding, you have an opportunity to travel somewhere around the world and experience it in a way that you wouldn't be able to experience it most likely on your own.
Sure. So one of these trips is something that your top salesperson in the company might earn, or somebody who's done really, been there 25 years or what have you. But it's not just a trip. Like, talk about what you've curated for them so that when they win a trip somewhere, it is really spectacular.
The way that I approach every one of these opportunities to go somewhere, regardless of the destination, it is about looking at it from a way that, as a traveler, you might be able to go visit Italy, to Sicily or Greece or any of these wonderful locations that I get to explore. And you would know by doing some Google research exactly what you should see and what you should do, and you might have a checklist. My goal is to take that checklist so that you can accomplish those things, but then elevate the entire experience. So where can I get you, or where can I get my clients that they wouldn't be able to get into themselves?
So give us an example of what is the coolest trip you would say you've ever planned, and what made the experience so unique?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest ones was actually going to Rwanda, which we just talked about briefly, but to trek gorillas. That was something that was really unique. And what made it different was we had the ability to select which gorilla family we were going to track and how far we were going to go for it. So we spent 2 hours trekking just to get into the gorilla's nest of a family that had everything from a silverback down to a tiny baby gorilla.
That's amazing. And that's something that someone just would not be able to arrange on their own, right? Probably involves government agencies.
Right. And you could, but the normal traveler too. I mean, they might be able to arrange something like that, but the cost associated with it when you're not dealing with an entire group can be a bit of a setback.
Of a setback. What is now that COVID is over and people are really embracing traveling again, you are the expert. So what is in your suitcase when you travel? First of all, I have to ask, because my husband has a rule, do you ever check? I am never allowed to check. We like to try to just carry on.
I rarely ever check.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you really just keep the essentials.
I do, but I travel, and here are my secrets. Well, they're not secrets because people do them all the time. I roll everything. I roll everything into a carry-on. I can literally get at least 4 days worth of clothes and maybe 3 different pairs of shoes or something in there. Sneakers, dress shoes, whatever.
Basics.
Basics, yeah. I get all that in there. And then the one thing that I always travel with, you're about to ask me that, is it's a Snap cordless charger that I travel with, but it also comes with all the international adapters, and it's all nicely packaged. So I always make sure I have that as well. That's
What's the biggest mistake you see people making when they travel? Just bringing too much stuff?
Bringing too much stuff.
Yeah.
It really can set you back. And it depends, when we're traveling in certain ways, we're oftentimes using smaller helicopters, charter planes, things along those lines that can limit you to the amount of luggage you're able to bring.
You don't
all of a sudden you show up with 10 suitcases and you can't bring it all. That's more stressful to most people
Sure.
than having to pack initially lightly
Yeah.
and so that you can carry it with you.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting, even for trips, international, locations kind of go in and out of style. And we were
Absolutely.
saying a few years ago,
Yeah.
it seemed like everybody was going to Barcelona. Now
That's
it
right.
seems like Portugal. What are the
Portugal.
top travel spots for this fall?
Yeah, I think that we're looking at Sicily is one of them, which I'll be
Sicily.
going to next week. It's just become extremely popular, and I think of all the places that you would typically go to in Italy.
And you were
know?
saying that show, The White Lotus,
The White
really kind of
Lotus.
set this off, right?
It really did, yeah. The last couple of years has really changed
Yeah.
tourism for them, and people want to go there. So it's going to be nice for me to go out there and explore it as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What are some underrated places that people should travel that might be less expensive?
You know what? I think that there's a lot of underrated places that are right here in the United States.
Yeah, it's true.
I've really had the opportunity to travel to some of them, that are in West Virginia or Utah or Montana, like there's beautiful parts of this country that I think are underrated. A lot of people think they have to go international to have a really unique experience, and you don't.
Some of our national parks are just
Beautiful.
insane.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so you do not curate for the common man. I mean, obviously, this is big and corporate. Specialty packages.
Yes.
How do people find out about you and your services?
They can visit our website at
Yep.
any time. It's Czerlonka.com. We're also on Instagram. We've been posting a lot recently of my trips and my travels and my experiences. And then also on our website, we have a whole video series called Your Invitation to Be Inspired. And they're 3-minute highlight videos of all the travels I've done around the world. So they can find information there, and of course, LinkedIn.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Marcus Czerlonka, thanks so much for
Yeah,
coming in.
thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Pleasure meeting you.
Enchanté. Have a great
you.
trip to Sicily.
Thank you very much.
That was not the correct, I should say ciao. But
Ciao.
enjoy
Yes.
Sicily and have a great trip.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.